Alright, welcome in. Just getting my chat window sized. So we should be good now, and we can start making a mess. All right. I think we're ready to go. That'll work. No, it casts a shadow down. Failure to communicate. Alright. So we're cutting half-inch canary wood? Hey guys, welcome in. If you have any questions, I can see the chat. So we're doing some production cutting today. I am doing a review of the saw. So I am getting 20 hours of cutting in before I do my review. If things are going to be wrong from the factory, they'll show up before 20 hours of cutting, that's for sure. Hey Melissa, how's it going? Welcome in. S2, thank you so much. Much appreciated. So we drilled a hole. Now we're going to cut the inside out. So we're making a mortise. And that's one of the unique things about the scroll saw. Is that you can make internal cuts. Hey, how's it going, sausages? We'll do a test fit. I'm going to take this file and just run it through and turn it around. I'm just verifying that these holes are centered, which they are. So now we're going to take off the pattern. So we lay down blue painter's tape and then glue the pattern to the top. So when we're done, we can just peel the pattern off. So we got a sticker. And now there's no glue on there and it's ready to go into sanding. We're going to stick with the canary wood. We got these 3 minis that are laid out. This wood is very pretty. There goes my blower. It started to fall, and then it fell. Not a biggie. So I'm just going to cut them out like that, and then come back and then through the middles. There we go. I'm just going to lay out the mortise. So this blade, the top arm will come up and clip into place, which is really nice if you're using, if you're cutting a huge piece and you want to get the blade through, gets it out of the way. And then there's a pin that you pull, and then it'll come down. So this is a 16-inch bower saw. Now I have a 22-inch, no, this is a buck tool saw. I also have a 22-inch bower that are coming out of the same factory. And these are nice saws. They really are. Well, it's the first time I've seen this. I just got a notification asking me to ask you guys what fictional character would you like to have dinner with? Okay. Thanks, YouTube, for trying to help with the conversation. Olive oil. Tina. Yeah, that's another good one. Hey, Ian. Peter Frampton. I don't think he's real. I think he's fictional. There's no way you can make those noises with a plastic tube in your mouth. So we're using a number 7 blade. It's a Olsen PGT blade. Number 7. Whoa. So I did get my shop lights hung up that came in. So we now have lights in the back room. So the back room had 3 sets of commercial fluorescent lights, and there's like, so there should be 12 bulbs back there, and the ballasts are all bad. There's like 2 that kind of worked. So I looked at the price of ballast and just bought some fluorescent lighting to hang up in there, and I put it up in such a way that when we leave, I can take the lights with me, because I am leasing this building. I was going through my emails. Oh, I'm sorry. Class, how's it going? Welcome in, old timer. Yeah, so I got notified by a website that this channel now has 5 million views. And I'm thinking only 4 million 999,907 of them were for me. It just seemed like a real weird thing to be notified of. That's great. Hey Angel, how's it going? Yeah, this canary wood is really pretty. Look at the finish we're getting off the saw. I'm not falling for it again. Hey Donald. Yesterday, Angel came in and gave me a nice oi. But then I had oi como va stuck in my head the rest of the day. We're not doing that again. I'll substitute Santana and Rob Thomas, and I'll just be smooth. Hey John, how's it going? So today we're cutting out some Turkish drop spindles. We just got done cutting some canary. Now we have some bird's eye maple here. Gorgeous. So start cutting that. So we are, I am testing the saw right now. Buck Tool sent it to me for review. And I like to put at least 20 hours of cutting on the saw before I do a review. So we're sitting right around 9 hours, so we're about halfway there. Hey Michael, how's it going? So yeah, I'm actually loving the 16-inch saw. All my other saws are 21 or 22 inches. But I cut out little things, so it's like I'm just taking up a lot of space I don't need. Honestly, you know, if you got a little workshop, you're going to save, you know, quite a bit of room by getting a smaller one. Bonjour. I only speak English. But I see very and hi. Let me grab my phone. You know us Americans. When in doubt, Google. A very friendly hello to all. Very nice. So taking 2 years of French in the early 1990s really hasn't panned out for me. I'm way back from the Jacques Chirac days. But according to my yearbook, I was in the French club for 3 years, and they printed it and put it in the yearbook. We didn't have a French club, which made it even better. I made up a bunch of stuff for the yearbook, and they printed it. It was great. So we cut the little mortise out, checking for fit. Just a little bit right there. Hello, Maymet, how's it going? Probably slaughtered that. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So we're just gonna take the pattern off. There you go. So this is bird's eye maple. There's a couple bird's eyes there and there. Once it gets sanded and a finish put on it, they will stick out more. Now I know we have some genuine mahogany coming up. Got one more bird's eye maple one to cut here. So if you're new to the stream, my name is Scott, hence the making of a Scott name. I've been using scroll saws since 1987. I do production work. I've been making spindles full-time since 2013. And prior to that, I really enjoyed wood crafts, you know, little stuff. I started my first Etsy page back in 2008, where I sold little wooden toys and little word signs. And that was just a hobby, just some extra income. Gave me something to do. And then I started making these, and I just fell in love with spinning yarn. So, find your passion, find what you're good at, find something niche. And then just keep working at it. So now we're to 5/8 inch thick mahogany. This is genuine mahogany. It smells beautiful. Very floral. And then it has a little kind of earthy finish to it. Very pretty. So the mill that I shop at had a bunch of this a few years ago, and it was a good price. I couldn't pass it up. But it's not something they typically carry, so when I run out, I'm done. So, yeah, a lot of the exotic woods that they bring in, they have suppliers that bring it in, and then they have auctions to sell it off. They do the same thing. We got a used car auction by my house. So, yeah, your used car, More than likely, it wasn't a trade-in. It's just something they bought at an auction. So you're not guaranteed that they're going to have a specific variety of exotic woods all the time. It's been over a year since my mill has had any Wangay. Hey David, welcome in. So if you look at this board, this one says no, because we're not able to drill the middle hole because it lines up with this. So we'll cut this one out, cut this off, then we can drill that out later. So if you're interested into getting into scroll sawing, cutting things out, I do have quite a few tutorial videos, some very basic beginner videos as well. It does take practice. When you first start out, you're going to think your saw is cursed. But with a little practice, it's pretty amazing what you can make. Hey, is it Walid? Welcome in. I'm going to have to widen that just a little bit. It's easy to take more wood off. It's hard to put more wood back on. Still making drop spindles. After all these years. Yeah, so this is more about just getting some hours in on the saw. And I figured, you know, might as well make drop spindles. Hey, Don. Yeah, there's nothing better than a good drop spindle. I agree. Balance is the key. Hello, Paul, and hello, Vincent. Welcome in. Yeah, so these are my glider shapes. I really dig gliders. They're my favorite. Nothing wrong with these, but we all have our favorites. Yeah, I've been very blessed to be able to make drop spindles full time. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Yeah, so if you go to my channel, it's more about beginner to intermediate, like, I've got some lathe projects on there, but most of them are scroll saw right now. So I'm making like key racks and decorative stuff. So this is just kind of me doing my day job thing. So later I'll turn a shaft on the lathe out of hard maple. So this is one of my newest designs. It's actually just a scaled down version of one of my larger spindles. So something this size would be used for spinning lace weight. It's a little big for cobweb, but right around lace weight. You could go to lace weight to very, very, very light fingering on this size. Which is the weight of the yarn. Let's see here, Raul, hello. Hello, Emilio, welcome in. So I'm just verifying the holes are centered. Yeah, mahogany is pretty. So we're going to stick with mahogany. These are full-size gliders, and that's a medium glider. So we're using a number 7 blade. We are currently using Olson's Precision Ground Tooth Blades, PGT. But I think we're down to 1 blade left, so we might be using something else. Oh, awesome, Frank. Welcome in. You caught us when we were live. Awesome. Hello, welcome in. I'm just going to say Pad. Welcome, welcome. Let's see, Frank, where are you from? You're from Hammond, Indiana, USA. I'm in Wisconsin, USA. So, hence the Midwestern accent. Fall is finally here. We had ice on the windshield this morning. Pretty close, yeah. In the scheme of things. Hey Mel, how's it going? Welcome in. So I drilled an entry hole. Now we're just going to put the blade through and away we go. Hey Hen, welcome in. Hey B, hello, hello. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If you're new to the stream, my name's Scott. We are working on the scroll saw today. I am cutting out drop spindles. This is my day job. And we're also testing the saw. Buck Tools sent it to me to do a review, so we're running it through its paces. I know I've said this a bunch on stream, but for the review process, I'm running the saw for 20 hours before I do the review. I should be right around 10 right now. And so far, so good. There was a break-in period on the saw when I first got it. It was kind of loud, but I let it run and started using it, and the bearings all kind of settled down. So. Hey Ragnar, how's it going? H, how's it going? Welcome in. So we are currently cutting 5/8 inch thick genuine mahogany. Hey Rod, welcome in. Hello 6R. Yeah, it's cutting mahogany like butter. I do have some 5/8 inch thick curly maple. And some bird's eye yet too. But yeah, I was cutting some ligamente on it. Heller. Not sure what Heller is. Alright, say hi to Rashid. Hello. You're ignorant what are drop spindles? Drop spindles are for spinning yarn. They came before the spinning wheel. So we have been spinning yarn on spindles since at least Neolithic times. How much was a scroll saw? This Bauer, this is a 16-inch scroll saw. It's $350 on Amazon. So, you know, it's not the cheapest saw in the world, but it's not the most expensive either. I mean, I'm looking at this as kind of a intermediate saw. Yeah, it's really not. There we go. So. Just have to adjust my camera here. I'm sorry, guys. Just pretend you're on a roller coaster. Please. Someday I will get the stand in the right phone stand in the right place. You have a Ryobi bandsaw that's much bigger. And you have more trouble with Mahogany than the scroll saw. This Mahogany is gorgeous too. Look at that. Look at the finish I'm getting off the saw. You can see reflections from the light. Hey V, hola. Have I heard of yellow cedar, bird's eye burl? I have not. I've heard of all those words, but not in that order. But it's pretty. It's cypress? Okay. Grows in Western Canada, high up in the mountains where you live. Very nice. I bet it is very, very, very super dense. Any tree that's growing high in the Canadian mountains is going to be pretty dense because the growing season is going to be, you know, much shorter. It's quite dense and brittle and absolutely beautiful. Yeah. And I bet they take a long time to grow. Yeah, you know, I am hoping, praying that things will settle down, hopefully before the next 3 years are over, because I get a lot of my wood from Canada. For knife handles and pen blades. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, as far as my shops go, I used to sell quite a bit to Canada, and now it's not so much anymore. And, you know, elbows up. I mean, what are you going to do? Yes, I'm in Wisconsin. I mean, I've got relation in Canada. My girlfriend has relation in Canada. I mean... You know, I wake up and I just feel like I'm living in bizarro world. You know, I'm not going to get political, but it's just... Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Don't believe everything that you breathe, you know? I know. I know, I know, I know. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Canada's one of the reasons why the Geneva Conventions exist. So do I make all kinds of stuff? I primarily, right now in my life, I primarily make a bunch of different types of spindles. I'm a spindle maker. On this channel, though, I do project videos. I'll make decorative items, you know, make free patterns. But yeah, mainly I do a lot of woodworking, a lot of 3D printing, a lot of laser engraving. I'm just getting into CNC stuff now. Correct. It's not illegal until everybody decides it's illegal. Oh, can you blame them? Not at all. Yeah, I think the one I got a Shapeoko, 4 foot by 2 foot. I think it was around $5,000, I want to say. Hey, Tommy. Spindles are used to spin yarn. So it's what came before a spinning wheel. Oh yeah, those big ones are crazy. Mine's kind of pro-consumer-ish. It's not very big. For me, it's a perfect size to start out with. Yeah, they make some huge ones that are nuts. Mine plugs in a standard outlet. I don't need like 3-phase electricity or anything. It's something to cut my teeth on. Hello, 5516. Yeah, so that was a big machine. That thing is still being used. Yep. So let me grab one. All right, so there's a board, but from an inch cut of steel. Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, Julio, how's it going? I only speak English, but, you know, I can still say, you know, que pasa. That'll work. So this is what one looks like when it's done. And this is what it looks like with yarn on it. Well, this one needs sanding yet, but you get the idea. So you start out with wool, and then you spin it into yarn. So some people will get spindles to learn how to spin because they're much cheaper than a spinning wheel. And then some people will progress to wheels, other people will stick with spindles. Either way. Spindles, it's more intimate. With the spinning wheel, you're treadling. So you're pumping your leg, which is turning the wheel, which is, you know.
Are you almost done with what you're putting out? Or do you still have...
I have 7 left, and then I have all those middles to cut out, so I'm good.
Because I'm almost done with my spindles. And I'm going to dip them, and then I will go back to laying stuff out. Because I assume you're going to be doing it Monday too.
Right. Only one beer? I used to work at Oshkosh Truck. We made a lot of military vehicles. We also made cement trucks. They make the big snow plows for like airports. There you go. Anyways, I worked with a guy who came up to me. He's like, "When is Cinco de Mayo this year?" I'm like, "Huh. Well, let me think." That's cool. What's your handle? Spin fast so you can die warm. It is one we use quite a bit. And I'm like, "Oh, Cinco de Mayo, huh? Let's break that down." Cinco is 5. Mayo is May. I'm pretty sure it's the 5th of May this year. My job title, I consider myself a spindle maker, primarily. Or you know. Or, you know, I go by being a crafter too. And I do a bunch of stuff. You know, that's fine. You know, I make little doodads so other people can make yarn. I do make yarn too, so. So, my big thing is, you know, find something that you enjoy doing. Find a niche, you know. Find something that not a lot of people are doing, and try to do it better than everybody else. You know, rinse and repeat. Yeah, so, you know, I started out, you know, after college, I put 2 years in and thought it'd be a good idea to knock up my girlfriend. So I worked in a bindery for almost 13 years. I worked in the finishing department, so I put magazines together. And then I went from there to Oshkosh Truck. I was there for almost 6 years. I worked on the assembly line, putting vehicles together. And then I was doing woodworking on the side just for a little extra money here and there. And then I started making these about 3 or 4 months before I got laid off. So, no, not too many jobs, you know. Like, this is my third big adult time job. You know, I'm 50, so. So I spent almost 13 years. I am full-time self-employed. Yep, this is my livelihood. So I'll give you a little tour of the shop. I might even try to clean off the lens. So this is my little recording area, So, yeah, I appreciate it. So that's a little saw I'm testing out. Normally, that saw lives there. It's much bigger. So this is my commercial shop. So you come in, and since we live in a very small town, so there's not a lot of foot traffic, so we don't have a lot of things on shelves. We sell primarily online, wholesaling, and then we do fiber shows, so we do like convention type things. So you come in, got the big messy couch. This is our area where we do our packaging. And then that's Etsy on that side. This side is Shopify. Oh yeah. We both work full time. She's sanding right now. Oh, she is the boss. So over here's the 3D printers. The two older ones I keep around just to use up little ends of rolls of filament. Come over here. We got a laser engraver. Another laser engraver. And another laser engraver. That's Vicky's drill press. So she's watching TV and sanding. So our hearing protection is Bluetooth headsets. So she's watching TV. Yeah. So this is my sharpening for the lathe. And this TV is also hooked up. If I turned it on, it would be playing the same thing. This is my main scroll saw. This is my production saw. Come over here. Got a little baby bandsaw. Some more sanding stuff. Chop saw. Router. So there's a CNC machine there. And I just installed some lighting today so we can actually come in this room. And there's a light. So, storage. And then we got our wood here. That's we're trying to use up what we got before we get more. So, You definitely need to go shopping in a little bit. Come over here. We got another little building in the back, and then my planer and my drum sander are back here, along with my dust collector. So that's pretty much my shop. There's also a basement where we do finishing work. And where spinning wheels go to die, right up there. Yeah, not a problem. I've been cutting on the saw all day. Well, when I wasn't installing those lights. Hello, my friend. Welcome in. This bird's eye maple is gorgeous. Yeah, they are hardwood. So this building was built in 1900. It was originally a grocery store. Well, I'm leasing this, so the landlord might not like that. So this building has been a bunch of things. Before me, there was a knife maker in here. Before him, the neighbor. They don't make them like this anymore. The neighbor used to rent the building next to it as well. So these are like the old brick buildings that are like stacked next to each other, the classic old-timey downtown. So the railroad put in a yard here, and that's why the town's here. So this used to be a vibrant downtown, and now there's just nobody that comes down here. So the rent's cheap. And it's perfect for us because we don't, we sell online, so. But yeah, it's just been a lot of things and a lot of times, and there's a lot of patches and a lot of just pieces of OSB in areas, and yeah, I live in North Fond du Lac, which Fond du Lac, I don't know, has like 40,000, 50,000 people. And I think we got like 5 or 6. So the town kind of grew up north of here, south of here. So this is the main street. Let's see, starting at the corner, we have a bar, and then a couple businesses that are now houses. The guy next to me makes mantles. Then there's me. Then there's another building used for housing. And then there's a contractor building. and then a small public library, and that's it for this side of the street. The other side has a bar that's closed. There's a small bakery that primarily makes stuff for restaurants. Next to that is a head shop that went out of business, so it's an empty building. And next to that's a bank that went out of business, and that's it for the downtown. Yeah. There are vaults. A little bit further down, there was a credit union that closed. And I'm like, oh man, that place would be awesome because they had the vault on the main level. So, the most important thing, we live 5 minutes away from this building. Ooh. Oh, I bet. That had to be cool. Well, at least you made sure there wasn't any money. Oh, thank you so much for the sub. Much appreciated. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I hope to see you again. Very nice talking to you, Mike. Hello, Emmanuel. We are making drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. So we're just doing a bunch of cutting on the scroll saw today. I'm actually testing the saw out to do a review on it. Yep. So. I am from America. I'm in Wisconsin. That's bird's eye maple. You can see the bird's eyes. You're in Texas? Very nice. I was just in Texas a couple months back. We had a show in Irving, the Dallas Fort Worth Fiber Festival. There's a lot of Texans up in Wisconsin too. A lot of people come up here for work. But you're originally from Louisiana? Hello, Duo. How's it going? Welcome in. So from Louisiana, hot and sticky, to Texas, hot, hot, hot. I'm taking it you don't hang out in a lot of snow. You have a lot of snow growing up. Hey, Jose, how's it going? Yes, from New Orleans. Lucky that you didn't have to grow up with snow. Snow is pretty the first time it snows. But I will constantly dream for a green Christmas. He's trying to kill me here. So this is a tiger maple. It's kind of hard to see the stripes. That's smooth. That's a grain. It's not saw marks or anything. Hey, Elle, how's it going? Welcome in. So we're getting a decent finish off the saw. There we go. I'm going to switch the blades out. I've been using this blade for a few hours now. There are only 6 in the pack. Hello, Paul. Yeah, I've spent pretty much my entire life in Wisconsin. We do shows. We got a couple. We got one in Texas. We got a couple in North Carolina. We got where else do we go? One in Minnesota. Hey, Alan. Welcome back. How's it going? How are we doing today? I don't know. Today went pretty quick. I've pretty much been sitting here all day. So I got it like, less than an hour and I'm going home. And it's spaghetti night, so it's definitely a party. And I plan on making a salad tonight. We've got some baby spinach and some arugula. And then we got some raspberry vinaigrette and some feta. Oh, it's so good. For me, the day went so slow. Went slow, yeah. Well, I was waiting on a couple packages from Amazon, and they came relatively early. So I was able to get some lights hung in the back. Because it was getting a little bit dark back there. So today's probably the first day in probably the last week or week and a half that I've not taken a nap at work. We got a big comfy couch and some really nice blankets. Take your break. Next thing you know, you're laying down with the blanket pulled up to your chin. But not today. Hello, Carlos. Hello, 65, and hello, Javier. Hello, Matthew. So I am. Bucktool sent me the saw to do a review on it, so I'm putting it through its paces. I should be at the end of the day. It should be about. What was that about? She's got headphones in and she's watching TV.
It's a lot easier doing it that way than have walking them.
Yeah, that thing has wheels on it.
Well, normally it's over there, so the fact that it was closer, I'm like, I'm just gonna dump them all here and
Heck yeah.
walk them.
Yep, so end of the day I should have probably 10 hours on the saw. So I'll probably get another 5 hours in tomorrow. And then probably 5 hours on Monday, and then I'll have my 20 hours in. But yeah, the saw is not bad. So how we put our patterns on is we put down blue painter's tape, and then we use spray adhesive and glue the pattern on. So this pattern was originally a piece of scrap paper that got flipped around, and we used the back half. So the printer doesn't care. Actually, we did a lot of my partner's college paper stuff. We made a lot of patterns out of that. Just as long as she doesn't have to figure out any complicated chemistry questions, we'll be okay. I'm no part of this. I'm not even going to participate. Oh, waka waka. I'll be here all week. Try the veal. Yeah, so I am definitely having my lathe work cut out for me, because it's gonna take a while to make shafts for all of these. So this saw has a soft start on it, so I'm going to turn it on right now. You can watch it starts out very slow and then speeds up. It's nice. Hello, 88. Welcome in. Yeah, this hard maple is very dense. Yeah, this tiger maple is pretty, but I understand it's hard to see the striping. Once I put a finish on it, it'll look like a corn cob. Very densely packed. So right now, as far as the stores go, it's a calm before the storm. Um, Usually sales tend to really slow down this time of year because everybody's waiting for sales, including myself. Yep, so these need shafts yet. They need to be sanded and balanced. And then we put our business name on the bottom and then the weight of the spindle on the bottom. So we do burn our scrap. So I use this stuff as kindling. And then the sawdust from the collectors, I mix with wax. And I use them as fire starters. Yeah, the fire starters are new this year. I'm not selling them. I'm just making for myself. But honey, does it make it easier to start the fire?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's awesome. Just throw a little Dixie cup full of that stuff in there, lay it on fire. It burns for like 10, 15 minutes. And I think I might actually have to buy wax eventually. I've been looking at rummage sales and thrift stores trying to find cheap, big-ass candles. All right, it's 4:30 almost. Yay. All right. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you go put these on the table back there?
So, are these the ones that I laid out?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, that'd be nice. So I've got one stick here where I need to cut all the mortises out. We're going to be doing that now. So these are kind of like my doomsday ones. These are probably going to end up being in a sale. Or buy X amount of this and then get one of these for free, I think. We have a surplus of this size, which isn't a bad thing. Putting it through, making sure it doesn't bind anywhere. And then we're checking the center of the holes. So I do a bunch of checks while cutting stuff out. Most of the time, you know, when I first started, you know, I really didn't have the process down now. A lot of the checks don't really... I keep them in...
The dude with the list is back.
Oh, okay. She's got headphones on. She's watching TV.
I'm like, hey, he was in an earlier episode.
Right?
Yesterday or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So normally, when we're in the shop together, we both will have our earplugs in, and they're both piped into the same TV stream. So.
Oh.
So she has headphones in. Oh, okay. So normally when she reacts to things, I know what she's reacting to. So you've already seen it?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Albert, how's it going? Welcome in. Okay, we're going to have to make this one just a hair wider. Actually, taller. Whatever. So. So I'm cutting off maybe 1 millimeter. Not much, just enough, yeah, where it doesn't hang out. So we're basically cutting out little mortises. So if you guys are tuning in, we are making Turkish drop spindles that are used for spinning yarn. We are also testing the saw. I'm going to be doing a review on it. So we are putting 20 hours of cutting in before I do my review. What the hell is that? The saw or the spindle? It's a Turkish drop spindle that's used for spinning yarn. Came before a spinning wheel. The blade is a number 7. It's an Olsen Precision Ground Tooth PG2. And we're cutting 5/8 inch cherry. Do I have to move just a little bit? Yeah, that'll work. Yep. Or we're making our artisanal Mr. Potato Head mustaches. Yep, so we're just cutting out little doodads. So if you're just coming into the stream, my name is Scott. Making it with Scott is primarily beginner to intermediate woodworking kind of craft projects. I am going to be adding some laser engraving and some 3D printing as well. This is just kind of my channel if I just, make videos of what I want to do. It's not necessarily all woodworking. It's not necessarily whatever. So this is a production stream. This is my day job. But I figured if I'm going to be doing it, I might as well live stream some of it. So I have just about 10 hours of cutting on the saw, which doesn't seem like a lot, but a lot of crafters, that would be a good 6 months worth of cutting, depending on what they're doing, of course. So I figure if I can get 20 hours of cutting time in, if there's anything questionable from the fact and the time frame. Yeah, so Buck Tool came out with a brand new 16-inch and 18-inch saw, and then they have a 22-inch saw, which they had for a while. So these are new on the market. So I like the size. It's smaller. I mean, unless you're making huge signs for weddings or something, you're never going to need, 22 inches of throat depth. There we go. And thank you guys for double clicking on the screen there. It does help get more people into the room. But yeah, we've got about a half hour left in the stream. So we'll just continue to cut these out. Hey, Demetrius, how's it going? Welcome in. So we're cutting 5/8 inch thick cherry, which is cutting like butter. It really is. So we are just running this file through just to make sure everything is centered. Take off the pattern. Ooh, this one is not cherry. That is honey locust. Made out of real grasshoppers. Locust trees are kind of messed up. They got a bunch of spikes on them, and they make really large, gooey seeds. You know, it's like a big kind of, looks like a big almond joy almost, where you can see the seeds on the inside. And they're sweet and gooey and bring a lot of bugs in. Thank you. Wow, today flew by. Holy cows. I get to go home in 20 minutes. But she didn't say shoot. So yeah, you know, a lot of people, a lot of woodworkers really discount the scroll saw. It's one of those things that does take some practice. You just can't hook up a yeah, never mind. My brain is not working. You can't hook up a fence and run a piece through. It's all cut by feel. And the blades do not run. If I'm cutting a straight line, I can't run it straight through. I'm going to have to run it at an angle to compensate for the blades are stamped out. These are ground, so they cut pretty straight, but a lot of them don't. This one was hard maple. Looks like a bunch of them are going to be cherry that are coming up. Make this just a little bigger. I can ring in the holidays and get 6 months of free Sirius XM radio. Which is ironic because we just canceled our XM radio. They keep jacking up the price. And then you just can't cancel. You got to talk to somebody, and it's like, oh, we can give you the same price you had before. And, ugh, barf. So I thought it was kind of funny. This building has never had a cable in it down here. They had to run lines. You know, I'm wondering what people before me used to do in here when they didn't have internet. But I look over on the wall and they have 2 radio stations written on the wall in permanent marker. I don't know why. Does strike me as odd. Because I've never once said, I'm going to write radio stations on the wall in permanent marker. It just doesn't make sense. And actually, there's quite a bit of little, like, things written on, like, surfaces. Like, okay. I don't know. I keep Post-it notes and scratch paper all over the place, so I don't write on, I don't know, the walls. But, you know, that's just me. All right, we're definitely getting there. I've got 3 more to cut out. Okay. Now I'm going crazy. Here it is. Like, I saw her. She drilled this one for me, so we do have a mahogany one to cut out. So we got 4 more things to cut out. Hey Kira, how many of these have been contracted to me? I sell these, so I have a lot to make. It never ends. So I think I've cut out probably at least 50, if not 65, 70 today. But I have to make shafts for them. I have to sand them all. There's a bunch of different ones. Your blade may be dulling. Oh, I'm sure. This blade I put on maybe 20 minutes ago, so it's not so bad. Mahogany. So pretty. So I'm just taking off the pattern. Yeah, this is a full-time thing. This is my day job. I think I live stream a lot more making the shafts for these on the lathe. Yeah, so I've been making these full-time since 2013. Hello, BC. We are making Turkish-style drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. Yes, this is a scroll saw. Hey, Cedric, welcome in. This is a 16-inch buck tool scroll saw. So, sure. So here's an example of one that we have cut out. It's not sanded or finished yet, but this is what they look like. And then this is what they look like with yarn on them. So I've spun this yarn. Hello, USA! Woohoo! Hey, Wiki, how's it going? So, this is roving. That up. All right. So this is wool. So a sheep got a haircut. Then they washed it and carded it and combed it so all the hairs are facing the same direction. No, I mean, what's the thing that you're making? What is it used for? What is it? Yeah, that's what I'm making. I'm making these. Yep. Yep, it's not a garage. This is the first story of a building. So basically, I'm just going to tie in here. So I'm going to take the fluff, lay it on top, spin the spindle. So it's putting twist in. And then with my hands, I am drafting. So I'm defining the thickness of the yarn and how much twist is going into it.
So I didn't drill these last two because the board is very
Okay.
heavy. So if you're gonna wait and let you cut those off, and I'll drill them later.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's what I'm making. Where we're making a bunch of different sizes of these spindles that are used for spinning yarn. All right, I'm gonna finish this one up and then call it a stream. Actually, I got 3 more to cut out. Can I just cut them out and be done? Is it wool? Yes, that's wool. But you can spin a bunch of different fibers. Alpaca. Baby camel. Llama. You know, pretty much all the camelids. And what do people make out of those? They spin yarn and then they can crochet it or knit it or weave with it or put it in a ball and throw it at their cats. Give me 1 second. So this is, I spun this yarn on a spindle. So it's ready to be turned into something. Hello, Belgian. Awesome. Welcome in. We're just at the very tail end of our stream here. So this is going to be the last mahogany one. And then I have to cut out the mortises out of 3 little ones. And then I'm going to go home and make spaghetti. Sounds like a good plan. Okay, I don't understand what after you make this, are you selling what you're making for the final product? Okay, so I'm selling the spindles, but I do use them. I do spin the yarn. No. I don't sell the products that I make. So most of the fiber stuff I make, I don't sell. That's my stuff. I sell the tools for making it. So, give me 1 second here. All right, so if you go on Etsy, this is my shop. I've had 26.4 thousand sales over the last 12 years. So, yep, I make a bunch of different types of spindles, and you know that's my job. Yeah, it's a tool to make yarn. That's all it is. Right. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into making that stuff. So you can find hieroglyphs of Egyptian spinning. I mean, we've been spinning since at least Neolithic times. So people think spinning wheels are all old-timey, but they've only been around 700-800 years. Prior to that, everything was made by hand on a spindle. So I got 2 more of these little centers to cut out. Can you link to Etsy? Actually, I'll send you to my Shopify account because that's a lot easier. Making sure it works. You're a carpenter too? Awesome. All right, let's see. The saw, this is a... Huh, that's weird. It's like my chat is not... There we go. Yes, this saw is a scroll saw. And it's got a number 7 blade, so it's got a really tiny blade on it. Do you have a few of my jaw spindles? Yeah, I've got a new style of 45s. So these, I probably have one that's done. It's a saw, it's got teeth. And then I still make the 3D printed ones as well. So the reason I went this route is by not going all the way through the wood here, it keeps it strong. When it would cut all the way through, you know, they would be kind of a little bit on the floppier side. So that's what I was trying to get rid of. Plus we got the 3D printed ones as well. So. All right, yeah, this is a scroll saw. So this is a 16-inch buck tool. So it's a reciprocating saw. So it goes up and down. Yeah. And these are to make, fretwork, like cutting out little things. So it has a very small blade. And Turkish spindles make cute yarn turtles. Yeah. So this is one I've been spinning on. So the cop, the yarn that you have on it, we call it a turtle because it looks a lot like a turtle shell. And I wind on very sloppy. Now, if I was going to take a picture, I'd do 2 layers of really nice wrap. And then you would never know the inside looked like that. Thank you. Do you want to see something crazy? I'll show you what that we have cut out that needs sanding. So we'll come over here. So these all have the oil finish on them. So we're waiting for that to dry a little bit, then we'll wipe it off. So these are all the ones that are already cut out and they're just waiting to be sanded. So we got Bacote here and zebra wood. So these are all the ones that are going to be coming up in the store shortly. Got some big ass plying spindles. And then I cut all these out today. So these are all the ones that need shafts, which I will turn later. So my girlfriend's ready to kick my butt, so I guess I better call it a stream. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Gonna probably try to sneak in here tomorrow. We'll see. You need a big ass flying spindle. If you're making art yarn or you need some room, I mean, I've gotten 10 ounces on one. Yeah, the big ass flying spindles. The first ones that I made were a slightly different shape, and I would call those, they were the big kahunas. Oh yeah, so we went from a little bedroom and now we're in this commercial building.
Oh, which is so nice.
Yeah, because we have Pickle Rick. So, yeah. I mean, it's
You're getting there.
it's pretty amazing how far we've come. So I just have this one little cut to go. Oh. You might appreciate this here. So this is my project. This is what my winter is going to be like. So that one. If I come over here. That one. And the one in front here are all Frank Frell wheels that were made in Mayville wheels. So my goal is this winter when things slow down, I'm gonna fix all those and get those back into people's hands. So it's gonna be a spinning wheel repair. I'm gonna feel like Bobbin Boy, I tell you. But yeah, my whole idea with those are just to get them running and into new people's hands. You know, it's not really a profitable adventure. All right, there we go. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a stream. Unfortunately, I got to go eat. So. Diabetic Scott needs food. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I should be back tomorrow. If not, I'll be back on Monday. We got 10 more hours to put on the saw, and then we can do a review on it. It is pretty sweet. So, all right, guys, have a good one, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. You have 3 great wheels and an Ashford Traveler. Oh, that's awesome. The only Ashford wheel I have is I have an Elizabeth, and it is gorgeous. All right, I gotta go. Have a good